Prison officers, have you ever met an inmate you respected greatly? There's one man I'll never forget. He was in his early 60s, quiet as a ghost, and when I first met him, I honestly thought he was a janitor, not an inmate. Always polite, always cleaning up after other inmates in the yard or offering to help with library duties. I'll call him Mr. J. He got transferred into our facility after doing 7 years at a maximum security prison downstate. No fuss, no flags, just another file in the intake stack. His charge, life without parole, double homicide. That alone usually gets you instant side-eye from both staff and inmates. But here's the catch. He never tried to hide it. He didn't brag either. But if you asked, he'd tell you, I did what I did, and I'll serve every day for it. Thing is, most inmates either pretend they're innocent or they act like they're proud of what they did. Mr. J wasn't like that. He carried himself with this strange mix of regret and peace, like a man who'd already lived 3 lifetimes. It took me a while to find out his full story. He was a former school principal, spent nearly 30 years in the same school district, helped build programs for at-risk kids, coached debate, mentored students after hours. Everyone in his neighborhood knew him as the guy who gave second chances. Then, one summer, his daughter, 19 at the time, went missing. I remember hearing about the case on the news years before I even worked corrections. It was everywhere. A college freshman disappears walking home from a study group. No leads, no suspects, no body. Months passed. The police basically gave up, but Mr. J didn't. He started his own investigation, talked to friends, traced her last phone pings, pulled favors from old students who were in tech or law enforcement. Eventually, a year later, he found out who did it. A man who had been her rideshare driver that night. He wasn't even on the suspect list. Mr. J found proof the cops missed, a burner phone purchase, a fake identity trail, deleted GPS data. He brought it all to the authorities, but by then they said the evidence was too circumstantial and likely inadmissible. That broke something in him, so he waited, watched, followed the guy for weeks. Then one day, Mr. J walked right into a public park where the man was eating lunch and shot him point blank in the chest. No mask, no running, no attempt to escape. He just sat on the bench and waited for the cops to show up. That alone would have gotten him 25 to life. But what made it a double homicide was that, during his confession, Mr. J admitted he'd also killed the man's cousin, another predator with a sealed record who'd been grooming underage girls. Apparently, Mr. J had found disturbing texts between the two men on an old backup phone his daughter had kept. Now here's the thing. Nobody in the system officially praised him for what he did, but you'd be shocked how many guards, officers, even attorneys, off the record said they understood. Once he came to our prison, he never caused problems, never raised his voice, never asked for special treatment. The other inmates respected him like he was a holy man. Even the gang leaders left him alone. One guy tried to intimidate him early on, and I kid you not, 3 lifers stepped in to stop it, not because they liked Mr. J, but because they respected him. When I worked night watch, we'd sometimes talk. He told me he still woke up at 5 a.m. every day because that's when he used to leave for school. He told me he missed grading essays, that he kept a list of every student he ever mentored who went to college. He also said he wrote letters every month to the parents of kids his daughter used to tutor, just to let them know someone out there was still thinking of her. Once I asked him if he ever regretted what he did. He paused. Then he said, "Regret is a luxury. I don't regret defending my daughter's memory, but I regret what it turned me into. I used to believe in redemption. I don't anymore." That one hit me, because most inmates try to paint themselves as heroes. Mr. J never did. He knew what he did was wrong. He accepted the punishment without complaint, but he also believed the system failed. Not just him, but every family who's had to bury someone and still walk past their killer on the street. When I left the job 3 years later, Mr. J gave me something, a small notebook. Inside were pages of handwritten quotes, 1 per page. Every one of them from books his daughter had loved. At the back he wrote, "If you ever have a daughter, teach her to fight like hell, but if she can't win, make damn sure someone's watching." He's still in that cell block today, quiet, reading, waiting for time to do what the law couldn't. And I still think about him, not because I condone what he did, but because he reminded me that sometimes the worst actions come from the best intentions, and the system we work for doesn't always know the difference.